Possible. I think they did. I think they definitely have also KSB, someone who's been staying out that hit scan role in particular. But it is going to be our first map. Our control, Ilios, Revival, XL2 Academy. And is that the Mangachu Torb already?
The hammer, the list. The storylines continue, and, you know, realistically speaking, you know, it's not on the top of your concerns, but I don't think anyone wants to follow the Mangachu, the hammer kill. And yet that is very likely as Revival comes out on, which is not completely unorthodox composition, but one you don't see very often here in the WoW.
By making the swap onto Ashe, realizing when you look at XL2's comp, they have that Pharah, they have that Hanzo, they're going to need a little bit of hit scan, a little bit of long-range damage. Mangachu almost booped and picked off early. Now going to be rotating towards the shield.
Can't get rid of the threat of hammers that easily. He's going to be rotating around. Revival, for now, be standing by Remix. Mangachu already finding one. Deal with the hammer on the other side. And for now, XL2, they need to find something here at the far quickly, but as this is going on, Apply picks off another, so it's a two-man advantage here for Revival, and they can start pushing forward to get XL2 off the point.
Two members down, but Gig's already going to be coming back. Gig will be coming back very, very shortly. He is on that Hammond. He's going to be there already. Mangachu a little far up. Going to have to top that cooldown. Actually manages to pick up, win the duel on Speedily, despite Speedily getting that drop.
He's going to have to run all the way back here. Not going to be a res ready for him, XL2. Meanwhile, still weighing the reestablishment one, and Maniton's down. Maniton ends up getting booped off the map, and now this is opportunity here for XL2. Apply, holding a little bit further back here on the Ashe. But you look at XL2, just making their inroads. The problem is they have to remove Remix if they even want to get any progress to play, and that's one way of doing it. Boops them right into the pit.
Remix down now, XL2. They can just play slow. They have the Valk. Mangachu actually picking off another. Can be taking out Haku. That's KSB though, turning on the Paintbrush. For XL2, they need to win this fight a lot faster. The longer this fight goes, remember, Revival owns point currently. Mangachu into the pit again, getting another knockoff, but he's going to go down.
Yeah, I mean, the issue here is that you have to get Revival fully off the point. Even if it's a losing fight, they're totally willing to just sit here and stall. KSB working around the outskirts, gets the Ashe, drops the Dragon right in the middle. He's going to force a rotation of nothing else, but EMP comes down the other side, and you see Revival just stubbornly holding on.
Usually going to be picking up several frags there. Paintbrush, Maniton down. There's the Supercharger gone. Remix going to be last alive here. Flip finally happening for XL2, and they had to invest a lot of resources and so much time lost already. 65% for Revival. They just continue to get the stall, even with the pickoffs. Had to invest the Dragon Strike, the EMP, the Barrage. And when you look at Revival now, they're going to be making swaps of their own. They still have that window, that amplification matrix coming up. They're going to have the beat, the bomb. They have those ults they need to clear. Gig's going to have to get a lot of value from mines.
Yeah, I mean, the big swap coming in here is Mangachu deciding, you know what, Far v Far going to be the way to go. Remix though staying on the Arista. I thought we might have seen a swap to something else there, whether it be Hammond or Winston, but they're going to stick with the Arisa for point presence and hope that Mangachu can dominate the air.
Right now is to use this amplification matrix from Epps, playing behind the shield to try to win point, try to own the point, as already Apply going to be taking down Haku. The mines are out for Gig, but they don't get a lot of value. The Revival, they're slowly winning this point fight.
Well, XL2's in a rough spot. They lose the Nano by virtue of Haku Fog. They don't have Haku, period, so their healing's going to be way less. And this means any poke damage coming in for Apply or Mangachu going to be way more. Hanzo falls, and Revival just grinding down XL2, retaking the point. And it was very hard for XL2 to remove them in the first place.
Once Haku went down, so much sustain gone for XL2. They didn't have the Nano either. They had no ults to own point, which was the real problem for XL2, is they took so long and they had to use so many resources, so many ults to get the flip the first time, that Revival could walk back in, play their Matrix, play their shield, and Apply just is getting so much value right now on the Ashe.
XL2 looking for one way in. This is going to be final fight territory. Revival not under pressure at all. KSB going to go for the hook shot. Over the top. Does not connect. 98%. And now XL2 needs to keep someone on the point at all times. We're in overtime. KSB desperately looking for Mangachu over the top. And Mangachu going to fall. Ends up with an early pickoff. 6 on 5. Exactly the start that XL2 needed, but they still have a ways to go. But getting down the Mercy, this is a really good opening for XL2.
And even though the Bob is going to be able to pick off OG currently for XL2, they still have a great amount of point presence. Gig rolling around full HP. They have the EMP as well. Revival, they don't have the heals they need without Epps, without Paintbrush. It's going to be a flip happening for XL2. And a lot of that was just from the Nano from Haku, giving it to Gig, opening up the space, allowing KSB to get that space he needs. Because what's so important for Widowmaker is you need space. You need to open up that space, which is exactly what XL2 did. Now Revival making a swap here to the double sniper, continuing to put Remix onto the Arisa close to the Supercharger, but having Apply go Widow, make it Hanzo. They want to outduel XL2, but EMP Barrage is up, CP.
The scary part is this could be one fight territory. Even though it's only 70%, if this drags on even a little bit, it's going to be very hard for Revival to have a second fight. Meanwhile, Buds is just holding on to the EMP here. This is a very, very difficult situation for Revival to be finding themselves in. Now we look at Buds, rotating around. EMP at the ready, not committing here just yet. For XL2, they want to slow play this as long as possible.
They don't want to commit any resources too early. They want this to be last fight, just like you talked about. They have the mines available. They're going to have the nano very soon. The mines coming out, trying his own remix.
Buds is down!
Buds is out of the fight. Can OG must get this res? If OG can get this res, it's still possible, but the supercharger's out. They're trying to deny the space. You see Megachu, he's so aggressive, trying to stop the res.
They're going to take it on the other way. Now it's XL2 in the hot seat. They need Buds to come back on in. They do get the Mercy on the other side. EMP comes back. There's the barrage in from Speedily, and that works out quite well for XL2. Buds back into the fight, but Negachu's still alive. Here on the Hanzo, it's not one yet. Revival looking to fight on back. Dragon going to be forced a rotation out of XL2 on the other side. Even though Revival is in a bit of a pickle here, respawns are going to be coming in very, very soon, and Negachu just sitting here, laying in good damage. The tanks are going back in, and Revival with the chance to flip this back, and that's going to be another towards Negachu.
Paintbrush gets Haku as well. The fact that Revival managed to stay on this point for so long and not picked up Speedily's here on the Doom. The Valkyrie is out for OG, but all of Revival are here. They're playing around Megachu. Apply gets Buds. Speedily isolating the back line. I think it's over. I think it's done, ZP.
XL2 scrambling for dear life. They're not going to have another EMP walking through that door right now. Instead, supplying the Tracer, moving around, looking for any sort of miracle pickup here. OG, though, down. Revival continuing to just mow down XL2. XL2 on their last leg, and just finishing off, winning the Tracer battle. Pulse Bomb up and ready. That should be it.
Yeah, this is now just clean up, and all of it for Revival from Megachu, Manitin, Apply, staying alive for so long, and they got so much value. Megachu was just doing so much damage around the Hanzo. His Hanzo's always been incredibly deadly. Manitin finishing up, making sure to support him. And they just lasted way too long on the point CB, which was really I think the round can be summarized as Revival was not removed from the point effectively at any time from XL2.
No, even fights that XL2 was winning, it didn't really feel like they were winning. It was a long slog, and I mean, I think that was part of why Revival stuck with the Orisa for as long as they did, where they were just all around the point, and once you finally deal with everyone on the sides, you still have to remove the Orisa, who's just stubbornly hanging on behind the shield, and at the end of it, XL2 just unable to get point control anywhere near as quick as they needed to. But now we move over here to the ruins, and this is where Widow duels come into play.
And the dueling Hammonds, they're both XL2 and Revival, Gig, Remix. Rolling up fast, trying to control the armor, controlling the health pack. You see the hack already out for Buds onto that health pack, denying Revival the chance to own it, which is important. It's crucial in this map to have that health pack, especially if you're Hammond to rotate to play around. And the Widows are just going to be looking for that duel.
Well, also in Sombra v Sombra, where, of course, if you don't hack it, the other Sombra will. So being the first to get the hack off, important. Oh, Buds just immediately dinked. Apply looks for him, finds him. And now this is a very good opportunity here for Revival. 6-on-5. Apply with less pressure to worry about. So also look to the Widow on the other side, but doesn't have to worry about the Sombra heading to the back anytime soon.
Gig anti trying to get that pressure onto Apply. Gonna have to roll on out. As Apply gets another. Apply has been finding these angles, finding the value. As Remix, though, he's trying to make that space. He's going down, but with Gig down, KSB gets 2.
KSB
it's still in the fight. They're still in the fight. XL2, they can still fight this.
Yeah, KSB is able to even this up to a good degree. Now KSB room to work with, but meanwhile, his team just getting mowed down on the point. Gets Manitin, but no, Manitin gets him on the other side. It was Megachu they got on the other side, and it's going to be Revival with first control. Despite
those picks from KSB, Revival just owned the point a lot more solidly. Again, Epps getting some key sleeps, getting the antes there. Manitin 60% to the EMP, relatively equal to Buds. KSB's going to pop that infra sight. They know where Manitin's at. He's going to have to go hide.
What do you think of the Genji swap coming in here from XL2?
I mean, it makes sense if you want to pressure this double sniper backline for Revival and Epps. In addition, you have a more set-on dive as KSB picks Paintbrush so early. Now the rest of XL2, they can be aggressive. KSB gets 2.
KSB assisted by the Ana there, already with 2, and this is looking pretty good for XL2. Now the question is, with 3 from KSP, can they just move on to the point and evict Revival? It's decisive. It should be enough, and even Speedily getting to the backline now.
Like I said, I do like this Genji swap. It's not full dive just yet, since KSB is on that Widow. But with the Sombra, with the Hammond, and no Brigida on the field, Speedily can feel a lot less pressured in that chance. And the Blade is going to be a lot stronger when there's no defensive ult either for Revival. But it is almost a 6-ult scenario for Revival. You see the Infrasight coming out. Dragon Strike. Here comes the EMP.
EMP out early from Revival, and already they strike 1. 6-on-5 Mercy out of the fight, but comes out at dear cost. Megachu down. Both teams striking back and forth right now. KSP has been the hero here for XL2 in this round so far. Still relatively well protected in the back. With multiple members of his team down, this is the time that Widow needs to even it back up the outside. Take it down, apply. Gets the Widow v Widow duel. And Revival now in a very good spot to flip this back in their favor.
Actually, we say that apply. Getting pressured, having to fly into the minds of Gig. OG gets the res. They're going to commit the EMP here as well, but there's really not a lot of presence right now. So much of this fight is going to be on Speedily and KSP. They need to get the frags. They need to get the blade.
It's working out for an XL2, even though it has been back and forth. Speedily and Buds, it will stand the point. Speedily, one dash after the other, pulls out the blade, ends up with 2. And this is enough for XL2 to continue the hold. Revival going to be heading back to the drawing board once more. And, well, speaking of the drawing board, they might be drawing some goats.
Or at least putting Mangachu here onto the Brigida, but it looks like they're just going to Sombra Goats.
No.
Apply on Hog? Oh, interesting. They're going to decide to put Apply on the Hog here, or is he making a swap? No, they're making full swaps. Manitin going to Eva. I'm imagining Apply will go Zarya, or will he stay on the Hog first? This is, I guess when you're running the Hog, you're just going to be looking to get Gig, get the hooks, get the bashes, get the sleeps, punish Gig. XL2 will not have a lot of ults on their bank, but neither Revival. Revival is pretty much ult neutral.
Number one target's gonna be the Hammond, but also it's not bad if you can get the Genji either. It's something that Genji at the very least has to respect. And KSP, another, finds Paintbrush, 6 on 5. He'll get D.Va in his face for the trouble, but already down 1. Revival is in danger. They cannot back off the point for any reason now, as XL2 is in a very, very good spot. The Bionade strikes to the back. Gig there in the cleanup. XL2 says, you know what, let's bring this to round 3.
XL2 putting a lot of faith into the DPS players, into Speedily and KSP in particular, by committing to that fight where Buds uses EMP, allowing for OG to res. If they had not gotten those frags, they don't get that flip. And that's just playmaking power when you're running these triple DPS compositions, enabling those DPS players. Speedily, Buds, KSP in particular, all coming up big when they need them. And when you make that swap late, when you put Apply onto the Hog, when you get Mangachu onto the Brigida after Speedily's already committed to the Genji, they were down in ults. They were just really just in an ult neutral fight versus a non-ult neutral team. And Haku with that anti, with that nano to keep KSP alive, finish it out.
Well, the one scary thing for XL2 is that even though they did look very good on DPS composition, now we're heading into the Lighthouse. And one of the key defining aspects of Lighthouse is that even though you can run a Pharah in the way that Speedily is looking to potentially run here, it's still a stage that's very good for standard 3-3 because you think about how the point is set up. That's a natural defense against a Pharah. You have a roof built in and you can just walk on over to the point.
A lot of cover to hide from the Pharah and the Widow. Multiple doorways, so there's no easy way for the Pharah to funnel to a choke. So you can hide behind so many different openings. Revival playing this mini pack right now on the first fight. And their goal here is to isolate someone to get to the point if possible. When they're playing this 3-3, they need to move as a unit. They need to keep everyone alive, especially their back line.
Meanwhile, for XL2, their goal here to get at least one pick-off before they get to the point. They're looking for Remix right now, the front line of Revival. Getting very low. They have not gone over to the point here just yet. XL2 playing defense, using the Pharah to lay in the poke damage and keep Revival away from the point right now. And so far, it's been successful. They have first control, and Revival is still looking for a way in. For now, they're going to be heading on in.
The bubble from Remix, blocking that crucial shot from KSP, which likely would have taken down Eps. They've moved forward. They're on the point now. They get an early frag. Gig is down. Their infrastructure up, but Revival's on point.
Revival gets to the point. They're going to be tankier, and they already get the flip. So XL2, even though they've been fighting this evenly, the composition they're running, they can't stand the point.
No, they can't get to the point nearly as effectively.
Oh!
As Speedily comes in off the ante from Haku. He'll give his life, but that's 4. That's the D-Mech. Speedily following up with that clutch nade from Haku, guaranteeing that there was going to be no heals available. And that's a counterflip.
That was just Speedily out of nowhere there. The Bionade was a harbinger of the Pharah just hopping on down and going, you know what, I'm going to finish this. So, thus far, the DPS set for XL2 is scary, difficult to pull off, but they're holding Revival back.
They're making it work. They're also making sure to get the poke where they need. You see, when you're playing this triple DPS, you need to be coordinated with how you engage with Barrage in particular. That's your finisher for a lot of fights. And that's exactly what it did. The Nano is out onto Remix. He's trying to chase, trying to make that space. Remix currently slept, though, as KSP takes 2 and Speedily gets another.
Speedily there for the fall through, but KSP was the one who really set the stage, looking for a little bit more. Mangachu gonna be off the side, moved off by Speedily. And Revival, I mean, it seems simple in practice, just get to the point. But XL2, they're doing a masterful job of just poking them away.
The problem when you're going to be nanoing Remix into that early fight is that he has to find someone to engage on. And who is Remix fighting? Who is he looking to engage on? Really, there's only two targets. Itaku, KSB. But KSB can grapple away from you. Hawk can get to sleep, which is exactly what happened there. So their Revival's having them. There's a lot of trouble to find this engagement as Applias swaps Sombra.
Remix gets chunked so early, has to use Primal very early into the fight. Cloud8 on him, still preventing the heals, but speedily caught. Revival immediately hangs that point, and Eps of all people on the side doing good damage. It's going to be Revival getting the flip here, but XL2, they still have plenty of time to bring this back, whether they want to stand DPS or, honestly, even swap a 3-3 of their own. And I think that's exactly what they're going to do. It looks like they're going for the swap.
That is exactly what they're doing. Eps being the anti-air Ana there, taking 2 in that fight as Revival moved in. Bud's also used that EMP, did not find a lot of value with the EMP either. Tried to use it as a counter, tried to use it as a defensive ult to fuel for his team. Just did not get that value as Remix. On that, Reinhardt now means the point control is going to be even stronger for Revival. They're going to be looking to try to take the fight on point. They would need to have a great ult economy, though, ZP. They can't use too many ults at a time.
Well, they use the EMP in this fight here in the 3-2-1 that Apply ends up giving his life for it. Still, advantage Revival. Megachu hopping around, ends up getting slept, but very tanky. And whoa, off the edge Megachu goes, but brings the Ana with them. A little bit of sabotage there from Lucio to a degree, but still too. I have done enough here to get back on that point. Ida heading on over speedily, making space in XL2. If they get this here, that very well could be the round.
Paintbrush going to be dancing around. They've got on the flip. There is a chance for Revival to touch. It's going to have to be Paintbrush potentially giving his life. You see he's here. He's going to be on the touch as Revival comes back. There's the boop, the bubble to keep him up.
That's a good bubble. It triggers overtime in Revival. Gonna get one final attempt here. They didn't have time to think about really. They just need to move over to that point and hope it goes well. But Remix focused on down, and after the focus comes the boom. Gig dropping the shatter on the other side. That's gonna be XL2 moving in and now taking map 1 away from Revival.
And Revival had a lot of trouble dealing with the XL2 triple DPS comp. Gig on the ham, and even when Revival went to that Hog Sombra late, by that point the point presence is already so high, the time bank so high for XL2 that they could just swap 3-3 for the recontest now that the counter Hammond comp had come out for Revival. So that is first map going the way of XL2, and they played the DPS excellently. KSB being a huge playmaker. Well played.
It was very well played, and I mean, I think it's almost a sign of the changing times here, where so many times we'll see a team run a DPS comp and go, well, in theory, if they execute right, they can win here, but then the reality is the other team just goes to point, and then they kind of flail at them and end up going a 3-3 of their own, a 3-2-1 of their own, and it doesn't work out. Except here, it did work out. Their DPS comp was incredibly good, and it bought them a huge edge, and most importantly, when they had the advantage, where they had a 90% to 18, they didn't stick directly on the DPS comp at the time. They realized, hey, this is going to be a little bit rough to retake now, but that's fine. We can match 3-2-1 versus 3-2-1, and likely eventually get on through, and that's exactly what happened.
And that's when you're running against that triple DPS comp, Revival, it's so important for them to win those first fights, to get those flips, because you can't get down too far in the bank, because strong teams like XL2, who've realized their advantage, are just going to make a swap to counter what you've now gone. So just go back to a 3-3, go to a Sombra Goats. They'll move away from what your counter composition has, because they have the time bank to work with. They can play the ult game.
No, it's the great advantage of being up that much is that you don't have to play to win every fight. You just have to play to win one fight. And even though they got that fight pretty quickly, even if they didn't, they had extra options. The longer-term macro game was very much in the favor of XL2 because they were able to open up that last round of control with what was a very compelling DPS composition. So Revival, you know, even though you take a look at the roster and go, well, they haven't changed up that much, losing an OWL caliber main tank like Fact Fiction, and losing Shax as well, it's something that it's going to take some time for them to adapt around.
So it is XL2 picking up that first map on Ilias. Still plenty of series to go here. By no means done, finished. But Revival looking shaky at times versus the XL2 compositions and their swaps. Not knowing really how to find those engages, in particular while on 3-3 versus triple DPS, because that's so important. Is that you need to find an engage, you need to own the point, and they weren't really able to do either outside of their bunker comps.
No, not in the least, but we are going to be heading into our next map, and it's going to be Paris, where we head off to next. And you want to talk about a map that is known for its first point holds and just general craziness right now. It is Paris, where even though the map does have a reputation, especially if you've been in ladder at any point of being a very defensive map, we've seen in the Overwatch League in particular that the map can offer some surprises.
Particularly some surprising snowball potentials. And some surprising... Also, I think Paris, out of a lot of the assault maps in the game, Paris has probably one of the most retakeable first for the defense. It allows for some extremely clutch comebacks.
Which is funny given how long the walk back is. I think a lot of the retake potential just has to do with the fact that you're on the coastline. Environmental pickoffs are so incredibly likely on Paris relative to the average first point where, you think about Volskaya, yeah, there's an ice lake nearby, but it's pretty far off the point. You look at Paris, the water's right there.
Which where we can see some hero plays come into effect, which we did see, this week versus the magic of the Justice London game where Giannis himself popped off. So it is possible. That's where you see a lot of Winston plays. Really, the reliance on Winston plays, if you do play Winston on defense, is around that primal for the point. XL2 on the defense first. Playing a comp we've been seeing increasingly more, which is the triple DPS solo Orisa tank. And really your whole goal is Gig. If you're Gig, it's almost like you're triple DPS with a Hammond, but instead of you being aggressive and getting disruption, it is just to sit there behind your barrier and not die.
And be annoying.
Be annoying and not die. Once again, it's the classic triple DPS solo tank.
If there's any ability in the game that will tilt players off the face of the earth, it's Halt. No one likes getting hit by Halt. It is incredibly annoying to get hit by because, players just call it the lag spike. You just get stuck, and then you get sniped or you get hooked. It's not a pleasant experience. The Gig is looking to dish it out, but Gig already getting chunked early on. It's healed back up in due course. KSP right now just looking for a pickoff on the other side.
Haku already down. Mangachu finds the angle. We'll get res for OG, but gonna get taken out by KSP. Returns speedily, finds Remix as well, and Rival have to back up. And the choke, it's brutal here. Despite those early pickoffs, XL2, they hold this high ground. They have the superior position to trade damage, to trade shield war. And despite Mangachu getting that pick, XL2 is still overall in a much better position. Rival has to be consistent with this comp. They need to find a hook halt early. They need to be aggressive. They need to take the space. When they're playing this double sniper, the angles are going to be so important because this choke limits the opportunities for Apply to actually find any presence.
Well, not only are there limited opportunities, but even if Apply ends up hitting the target he wants in KSP, he's an extra life right now. He's sitting on the one-up mushroom known as Mercy. So even if that early pickoff happens, you have to be able to get there in time to deny the res. Revival, meanwhile, break the shield. They're looking forward. Ep's not going to land the anti-air hook. The Revival taking the time to reposition a little bit through the choke point.
Well, speedily has that barrage as the hook comes out, but a great halt saving OG's life. And that's it. That's fight. Speedily gets two. That halt from Gig saving OG's life. They're stuck in the corner now for Revival. They're trying to play the shield, but they're getting cleaned up slowly but surely. And you see how much trouble Revival has to enter the point to deal with this Fair Mercy, who are playing the building right above the choke. Because Apply just can't find an angle. He's stuck in a room. He can't find the angle to actually pressure them. And Epps is looking for anti-air hooks, but that's hard to hit.
Well, not only that, but the scary thing there for Revival is that now you're reset to 0. Actually worse than 0 because XL2, not only did they win the last fight, not only are you down to a minute 30, but you're also behind an ults. It is the worst case scenario for Revival right now.
Revival making a full swap. I agree with, as we say that, making sure you can pick it up by KSP, but I still agree with this comp choice swap. I don't like Widow for this offense very much, as the EMP's out for Buds. Apply, though, getting two. Epps finding another. Buds' EMP was so deep in this choke. How was any member of XL2 possibly going to follow up there?
Buds has made it interesting here, not in the good way for his own team, but Orisa tried to take the opportunity to move forward, just walks the KSP and gets domed twice.
It's going to get res, though. You have that res available. The Valk was already out for OG, so that's done. But XL2, they still have the players they need as Apply, though, with the halt. Bye-bye, OG.
See the supercharger go down. XL2 trying to bring it back, and Speedily again finding another. Speedily doing so much work here, about to fall as Revival slowly trying to grip this down, but Gig just chases down Mangachu on the other, or chases down Apply on the other side, and XL2 is in a really good spot to defend here. They've been pushing Revival back, and Revival's down to their final 30 seconds.
They're down to the final 30 seconds. They have almost no ults. It's just a supercharger, maybe a Dragon Strike and Evie coming up. XL2 still holding this high ground, still keeping them in a strong spot. KSP finishing that imprecise as Buds, the EMP about to be up, and XL2 now are just gonna walk away from Remix's supercharger. There's no presence. They just still have to own point. Revival has no point presence.
I mean, the S key working out pretty well there. Mangachu in the skies finds one already. Buds gonna need to use EMP soon. It's gonna be a 3-on-6, and now the question is, do you use EMP to try and save this? The answer should be no. Revival off the air power of Mangachu will get point A.
That was a close offense. Revival were staggering in for so many minutes. Could not get past that choke initially with their first comp. Swap that had trouble getting through the choke and finishing the fight, taking it to point, which is so important, is you actually have to take the fight to point at any point during your offense, which they did finally at the end after making 3K. Now Revival making the swap fully into Somber Goats. You see Maniton getting a hold on to that EMP. It's going to be an EMP versus EMP fight.
The problem, though, is that when you have to run that sort of composition to take point A, the defense still wins because with all these swaps, all you have is the EMP for this first attack. You can't snowball. You don't get the fruits of victory.
Can't snowball, but if we see an early EMP used for Buds and Revival just die and get out quickly, though, there's still a very real chance that the next offense is great. Because sure, Haku will have Nano, but there's no other ults for XL2. The fight didn't run long enough. They made a fresh swap as well. So now they're coming into a fight where their Nano must win them this fight versus an EMP.
I think the key here for XL2 is that you need to use a terrain of point B to your advantage, right? Be a little bit more spread than normal. It's not the easiest area to get a full EMP on. Meanwhile, for Revival, you don't want to waste any time. Oh, they're going to stagger Buds and then go straight in.
Yeah, and you see Maniton coming ahead, scouting. There's going to be the charge off that sleep from Eps. A nice sleep. Because of it, they almost have Nano as well. So it's a Nano v Nano with an EMP. All Revival have to do, if they can just guarantee 1 to 2 kills, they're in a great spot.
Maniton looking for the EMP. Only hits 2! Only 2 are hit. Reinhardt going to fall right on the other side, and now Revival in a good situation here for potentially, even though it's not the best EMP, they're still moving on to the point. Everyone's still healthy. XL2 trying to fight on back. They win the Sombra v Sombra. Buds is down, and Revival, it's not the best start, but they're working their way back onto the point.
And look how low both Eps and Paintbrush is. Huge shatter from Gig, speedily also with the flank. That anti from Haku on top of the flank, speedily saving the point for XL2. They were so low, Eps, he dropped the heal nade. They were hoping they can amp, keep them alive. But the EMP, like you talked about, it was great. They were able to get 1 frag, but they weren't able to get enough. And the same for XL2 from that Nano onto speedily means they couldn't clean up any damage. They don't have a Xin. They don't have a D.Va to just fly into people and get that early poke, that pressure damage. So XL2 hold on here, and they're in a good spot.
1 minute, 50 seconds left here for Revival. And remember, it takes a long time for any individual attack, so at most, this is going to be 2 attacks, and that's only if Revival makes this next attempt quickly. See
Revival trying to enter here. They need the EMP. They don't have any defensive ults, and they're coming up against a grab, and there's that early grab. Catches them there, even though making sure with the rally, but there's no follow-up. The sleep as well, the counter grab, they might be able to because the EMP canceling the beat entirely.
They're going on in. Remix that fly gang real low because of Bound, but they fight their way through. They just back on out. Remix might be down, but it is 5 still up here for Revival, and I mean, this is a big question, but with only 5 up and you're down a Reinhardt, I don't think they push here. I think they still have to wait for Remix to get back in.
Oh, they definitely do. They have to stop. They were able to force the beat with the grab after that initial grab from KSB and then strip it, but they couldn't win the fight. Remix was down, Gig's still alive, kept up by that Nano, and now Buds has EMP. Paintbrush must get beat. Eps must get Nano. These support ults versus this EMP, it's really the decider. And Gig has the shatter, so there's always a real potential for the finisher, the EMP shatter.
Just needs to have a little bit of patience here. You don't want to rush EMP, wait for it. And okay, they use it immediately to go in for the front line. Nano boost can be coming on out here. Remix still totally fine. And now you see Revival heading back on in. They've weathered the storm of the EMP. And now Mangachu punishing on the other side. 6-on-4 for Revival, and this is looking real good for them. XL2, I think they rushed that a bit.
XL2 were not able to get the value they needed after the EMP shatter. They didn't catch Eps or Paintbrush with the EMP, so Paintbrush's beat keeps everyone up. They do the Nano Brigida, the raid boss.
Can they do it with 1 second remaining, though? XL2, they need to stall this for at least 10 more seconds. Whatever they're going to do, even if they lose the fight. 6 seconds left here for Revival. Can they finish with time left on the clock? That's what they're going for here. 2 seconds. 1 second. The clock is drained. We're in overtime. So even if they finish it out here, there's something that XL2 can feel good about on the defense.
I mean, look at the XL2 strategy so far on that defense. They had great delay on first. They had great delay on second. And a large part of that, despite the ult economy really not being in their favor for a lot of it, they were just able to find early frags onto Remix. Catching Remix, getting 1 kill is all you need because it stops the ability to really take second effectively because of the spawn advantage. And despite Revival having some good fights, you can't trade. You cannot trade here because you have to have everyone alive to finish here on the point.
Now you look back at the defense for XL2, even though on one hand you can look at it and say, well, even though they full capped, you drain the clock, that's good. XL2, if you think about the circumstances going into that final fight, they had a very, very good opportunity to actually hold that there. And I just think Buds used the EMP a little bit too early there where, look, you're in one fight territory no matter what. I get that they thought they had a quick opportunity there. But if you just wait a little bit longer, there's no way that you don't have the opportunity to get an EMP that hits 4 or 5 people in that situation. It makes the rest of the fight relatively easier.
And when you're on defense, you're also not, unless you're at a huge ult disadvantage where you must engage first, because you can't lose. There's no, which they weren't. There's no downside to waiting for the engage. There's no downside. You're building your own ults. You're taking time off the clock. You're not at risk of losing based off an early aggression.
I just think it was a case where they thought they had an opportunity that they didn't really have. But again, I don't think they were under the time pressure to necessarily go for it there. But regardless, XL2 still plenty of options to bring this back. You look at Revival, they're not going to be running the bunker defense. There is a contrast between the two teams. Instead, they're going to be running out here the Winston defense on first.
And they have the Winston, they have the Ana, so a little bit more mobility in case they're worried about a triple DPS attack, which XL2 looking like they might be swapping to. No, they rolled out on, but going to make it a swap to 3-3 themselves. So Sombra goes at that, which I think, oh no, full
no, actually full 3-3, not 3-2-1.
Which is the right call. I think that's the right call as well. XL2 recognizing that when a Winston's on the field and an Ana, running Xin, running Ryan means that you can punish Remix very, very effectively. You can't get too deep, you can't get caught, and that's the goal for XL2 is to just punish Remix and to slowly take space because they need a primal. They can't win the point fight with a Winston compared to a Ryan.
Well, and the scary part here is that Remix is only 29%. Remix has not done enough so far. In fact, Remix just getting bullied away. This is not how you get a quick primal. In fact, already 33% with XL2. Now for Revival. They need to do something quickly. Remix bouncing around, almost 2 ticks gone at some point. A move must be made. XL2, though, meanwhile, more than willing to sit here on the point. Look to win the poke war. Remix going to jump in. This is going to be a do or die, and he chooses die. Thrown into the lake on the other side. Revival still trying to bring it back. Episode 2. And XL2, they're getting Vested Transcendence here, even while down some. There's a world where this backfires. Revival, they need to stay on the point. 85.5% to XL2. Bionade hits the back. Revival, though, way more people just trying to bully XL2 away, and they might just do that.
They're winning this fight. They're definitely winning this fight. Epps' positioning was so strong. Despite Remix going down, Epps' positioning was unreal. So many times he was low. Haku almost being able to get the pick, but having to reload multiple times. And Epps gets the nano, allowing him to stand on point. He's getting multiple antis. Very, very strong positioning there from Revival. Off the back of Epps, who gets that space. And Haku has to be kicking himself. The multiple times he could have picked him, just wasn't able to get it. Had to be low.
Well, another opportunity here, but this time Revival, they have the Graviton. They use it early in Remix. There on the follow through. That's a quick dispatch here for Revival, and think about where this is going. Remix has had the chance to go to Reinhardt now, which already kind of messes with XL2's comp. The reason why they went to this was because Remix was on Winston.
Chance for Remix to come back on the Ryan has definitely messed with their win conditions, but XL2, when you look at their ult bank, you nearly have 5, almost 6 ults, no grab available for Revival, no Transcendence, which is one of the weaknesses of this composition, is that when Epps is on Ana, there's no chance for your grab.
Well, Graviton going to come out here first from XL2 on the offense. Answered in turn by a beat, and Manitin with the bomb. Just really trying to protect from the grab, but ends up getting so much more, and now they get the cleanup on the other side. XL2 down to their final minute and 15 seconds, and things have just gotten very awry for them, and look at the stagger.
And the stagger for Buds, too. There's going to be the charge very late. Going to have a long charge, take him all the way back.
Oh, nice.
Won't be getting him. He has to now go towards the edge. And that was off of the shadow from Remix as well. The grab comes out for KSP, and while Manitin puts that defensive bomb, Remix drops the shadow, puts everyone XL2 on the ground, getting the picks. So now the push has been stopped, the grab, the rally gone for XL2, but they still have an opening. They still have bomb, they still have shatter, they're gonna have double support ult. There's no grab yet for apply. So they need to take this a fight. I don't think they need to worry about rotation, CP. I really don't think they have to worry about that at all. They should just take this fight aggressively. They can even enter with the bomb.
Well, the scary thing here, this is final fight territory, final 30 seconds. That's the power of that Diva stagger that we saw just a little bit ago. It bought basically a full team fight. Now it's all going to come down to this. Revival holding the back, Remix moving forward. XL2 as expected. They go straight to the point, right into the shatter. Now see if this is enough for XL2. Remix getting awfully low, getting healed back up in turn, but XL2 first pickoff. He gets already down the other side. They end up eating the grab. It's still totally fine. Transcends in from Haku. They get down Manitin. XL2, it took them a while, but they are going to get point A.
They're going to get point A. They're going to get the foot. They finally just took the fight aggressively, which is what they needed. Didn't have to invest the bomb either. And there's a real potential for XL2 to win this next fight. as Evs makes the swap onto Zenyatta, so completely all neutral, no grab either, no bomb. XL2 can enter here with bomb, put some point presence onto Remix, because they should know Remix has Shatter, so they can't give him a chance to open up with the Shatter. They have so many ults, they need to just pressure Remix.
Remember, XL2 here, if they finish with over a minute left, they get an attack. Revival does not, so Revival needs to burn quite a bit of time off the clock here, about 2.5 minutes in total to keep this winnable and not go to draw.
I don't know why XL2 are taking these long rotations either. I mean, their cooldowns back up, they get their health up, but they have grab. There's no support ults for Revival. They have ults to pressure Remix and set up their bomb. They just need to go.
Well, they drop the Graviton, and they do just go. See self-destruct up to this guy from Buds. Looking for it, gets 3! Exactly what the doctor ordered. And XL2, they are going to be finishing this with quite a bit of extra time. Revival fully thrown off. Eps holding on to the Transcendence, going to use it for stall, but usually this is not enough to bring back a fight that is this loss.
And there's no ult for Revival. Paintbrush, if he gets beat, there's still a chance to have a stagger, to maybe get a pick, but they can't even touch point. Gets booped off, no one there to touch, and that's a fast cap for XL2. Revival has no extra time. They did exactly right, even with that rotation. This is looking grim for Revival.
I think if there is an upside to this, even though I don't think the circumstances from the first point hold we just saw a moment ago will be replicated, it is drawable.
It is drawable. You are correct. It is always, as the mantra says, as we've gone through, I think the mantra for right now for a lot of teams is every fight is winnable and every Paris is drawable. So it's very potential. There is a potential for the draw for the series to not look much worse for Revival, just only slightly worse.
The problem is that even though they did hold beyond 2 minutes and 54 seconds, so we know they're capable of holding that long, think about what that required. That required XL2 to have a team fight where I don't think they managed ult super well. They let people get picked off early, and it required Revival to hop back out on the swap where Remix had the chance to go over fully to Rhyme. I don't think it's likely that they're going to be able to replicate those same set of circumstances, so they need a different defense here, where if XL2 sees his composition and swaps, more than anything else, Remix has to build a much quicker Primal.
Primal is going to be crucial, because the Primal, if you can get it early, not only is it an important tool to stop that point presence, but Revival, their ult economy has to be on point. They can't be over-investing ults. They need to be winning ult fights with only one ult if possible, or at least 2 cheap ults. As XL2, they see the composition again. They're probably just going to go back to 3-3 with the Zen. Yep, that's exactly what they do. They know they only need 1 fight, so they can save up for these 6 ult fights as well. They can save up for all their ults, and their ults are better. Transcendence is better than Nano Boost. Shatter is better than Primal. Reinhardt is so good at holding the space.
Remix guesses wrong. Thought they'd be going to the left. Instead, they go over to the right, but Remix gets a lot of charge, even gets a pickoff. This is the ideal opening for Revival. Okay, not quite as ideal. Remix.
What was he doing, DP?
He got greedy. He got way too greedy.
Is his HUD off? And now XL2 have a free rotation to the point. They still own to the Reinhardt. They can still control the point. They control the point presence. They need the Remix to come back here.
Well, we'll see if Remix is going to be able to get back in time. What was once going to be getting not so much anymore. Paintbrush over move off the side, but instead, Anaton thrown off. XL2 getting every pick they need, already halfway to where they need to be. And KSP going to finish melting the rest down. XL2, what a way to start the series, up 2-0 over Revival.
XL2 making the right swaps, making the right calls. A good snowball for second push. So far, XL2 looking increasingly cleaner as the season has gone on. It is only their second match, but fixing some of those issues from them last season where they seem to be much more coordinated overall, but questionable points at times for Revival in terms of how they're choosing aggression.
Well, particularly aggression-wise, is that I think Revival was very comfortable playing around Fact when Fact was on the team. Every main tank is different, and I think what we saw there is that Remix just goes way too aggro, where that was a good opening to start with. You get an early pickoff, your Winston is at 50% charge, just chill, relax for a moment. You don't have to dive yourself in.
He didn't even have bubble. He didn't even have bubble. He was 100 HP. Unless he must have assumed that maybe Apply had a ally bubble for him or something of that nature. We have to give the benefit of the doubt, because otherwise the play just makes no sense.
No, it was just ridiculous, where I get it. You have momentum. You're getting pumped up a little bit, but just relax. That was a really good opening that just went awry so incredibly quickly. But part of that is XL2. Of course, XL2, even losing one early, they immediately go in, snipe down Remix quickly, and now they get to, bask in the rewards. They're up 2-0 over Revival, a team that came in pretty likely favored, I would say.
I think you'd be disingenuous to say that teams weren't favored them after they're essentially just the Mayhem Academy core, which performed so well last season and obviously broke the Fusion Unity streak, which is momentous. So definitely, and they have ex-Overwatch League talent on the roster. I mean, Remix is ex-Overwatch League, Apply is ex-Florida Mayhem main roster on top of having Contenders performances. So they do have a stacked talent roster, but XL2, their swaps have been great. Their playmaking ability have been great. They've been looking flexible. They're looking coordinated. So far, they're looking much cleaner.
Looking good for sure. But Revival, will they be able to bring it back here in the series? They still have 2 more maps to go. We're going to find out in just a few moments.